Welcome to day 5 of our daily Bible devotions. I want us to understand what the effect of the gospel really is. And also, I want us to ground our discussions because the past 2 days I was talking about Shaman King and power, and it all sounds unbelievable. It all sounds fantasy, fiction, made up. So, let me bring you two things. First, in logic and philosophy, there's this thing called the law of causality. What is the law of causality? Law of causality says that every cause has an effect, or everything has a cause. Everything in this world, if it is an effect, then it must have been caused by something. Or if there is an action that will cause an effect, well, there you see the law of causality. Cause and effect. It's a universal law. Second thing that I want to bring up. In physics, there's this thing called the laws of motion. Not just one, actually. 3. There are 3 laws of motion. Law of inertia, law of acceleration, law of interaction. Basically saying all laws of motion is that if there's someone that moves, then everything else will move. And then you can measure that. If nothing moves, if there is no movement, then there will be no reaction, there will be no effect. Now, one proof that what I've been talking about the power of the gospel, the power of God, one proof that is real is that it works in the same way as the law of causality and the law of motion. It's the same. Basically, there's a cause and there's effect. If there's an action, there's an equal and opposite reaction, or there's a counterpart, the reaction. The same is true with the gospel. The gospel is a power that causes an effect. What is that effect? We've been talking about that for past 4 days. In the 2 days that we checked the overviews of the Bible Project videos, overview of Galatians and Ephesians, and the past 2 days, Wednesday and Thursday, I talked about how it transforms the person, how you embody that power. That is the effect. So, if you believe in the gospel, there will be an observable effect, which leads us to the principle that I want to emphasize today. The gospel works just like any other laws in the universe. Whenever it is at work, there is an observable effect. Again, it's a bit lengthy. The gospel works just like any other laws in the universe. Meaning, whenever it is at work, there is an observable effect. What do we mean by that? Paul wrote to the people of Galatia and people of Ephesus because these people who received the letter of Paul, they're believers already, they're Christians. They are supposed to know the gospel. But apparently, Paul cannot see the supposed effect of the gospel in their lives. The life that they're living, the words that are coming out of their mouth, that is not the supposed effect of the gospel, which is why he's writing to them, because he needs to clarify some things about the gospel. It's like, hey, you don't really know the gospel because this is the gospel. If you know this, this should be the effect. If you know this is what should happen. There should be a specific result. But with the result that you are showing me, it means that you don't really understand the gospel. So that means you can believe Jesus, you can claim to follow Jesus, you can claim that you are saved already, but if your life does not show the intended or the supposed effect of the gospel, maybe you don't really understand it. Maybe you don't really have the gospel. Maybe you're just saying it, but you don't really have it. It's like your parents asking you if you're sick, did you take your medicine already? And since you don't like the taste of the medicine, of course you can just claim, yes mom, yes dad, I took the medicine already. I'm done. I took it, but you actually just threw it away. Then your parents will say, okay, you took it, all right. But then you're not getting better. You're not having the intended result and the supposed effect of the medicine. It's because you didn't really take it. That is what's supposed to happen when you have the gospel. It should transform your life. It should transform your actions. It should transform your words. It should transform your thoughts, your thinking. If it doesn't, you better ask yourself, do you really understand it? Do you really have it? Sure, you can use this to judge other people, but the Bible is not intended for a person to judge another. The Bible is intended to be used like a mirror. The good news of God is for you and for me, but it's supposed to be used personally. So when you read it, you should reflect on your own actions. And then you teach it to others. But don't judge them. Show it to them by the effect of the gospel.